Hi there, and welcome to Naturally Recovering Autism. I am your host, Karen Thomas, and I want to thank you so much for being here and being a proactive parent and getting the resources that you need to let your child live their most fulfilling and independent life possible. When my own son was diagnosed with autism, I was told to drug him and try behavioral therapies, and there was nothing else that we could do for him but manage his symptoms the rest of his life. But I didn't want to do that. Fortunately, my background in craniosacral therapy of now 30 years let me know that the brain can and does heal, but I didn't know that much about autism. What I did know is that I didn't want to just mask the symptoms with dangerous drugs. I wanted to find the causes and work with them naturally. And fast forward, it took me a decade and a lot of time and effort, but today my son is no longer diagnosable with autism after being told it could not happen. So I'm here to share with you valuable resources to save you the time and some of the expense that I had to spend to figure it out, and to help you let your child lead to their best results possible. Every child's level of recovery is different, but we know that children who couldn't sleep through the night are sleeping now through the night and happily. Their immune systems are now strong where they were once sick all the time. Children who were nonverbal and their parents were told they could never speak are now speaking. Children who were getting D's and F's in school are getting A's and B's. And those that were so anxious all the time and couldn't sit still and were uncomfortable in their own bodies are now calm and happy and relaxed. And they're leading fulfilling and independent lives with friends. This is what we want for our kids. So I'm here to share the resources with you so that you can get the best results for your child, the best possible. And you can start that right now with my free download of the top 7 foods to eliminate beginning today, of the top foods that are the most inflammatory and toxic that are contributing to those physical and behavioral symptoms of autism that your child is having. They're making his life uncomfortable. So you can get that right now at naturallyrecoveringautism.com/7 foods. And feel free to share that with anybody you know who would be interested. And I will also link to it in today's show notes. There's, of course, a lot more than diet, but this is something you could start doing today that will begin to reduce those symptoms. And I'm happy to share everything I can with you. So right now, let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for being here and always for what you're doing for your child, because you are absolutely the key to their success, especially when it comes to autism and the autism recovery journey. And we know every child's level of recovery can be different, but all can have a better quality of life. When my son was diagnosed, I was told to drug him and try behavioral therapies, and there was really nothing more we could do. But then fortunately, my background as a craniosacral therapist studying the brain let me know the brain can and does heal, but I had to go to work researching autism because I didn't know that much about it. Fortunately, I did, because today my son's symptoms are gone. And again, we know every child's level of recovery is different, but all can improve. So I created my Naturally Recovering Autism membership program to help parents to navigate the journey and to get the best success possible, taking my 19 years of research and putting it in a step-by-step process. And I have a special guest with us here today. I'm very excited to introduce Debbie to you. And Debbie is a member of my program, and she has gone through a lot on her journey prior, and I wanted to have her come on today and share with you, to give you that inspiration and hope because of the success that she has seen. So, Debbie, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And so, if you could share with our listeners, maybe first of all, start with how old your son was when he was diagnosed and how old he is now, and maybe just kind of what you noticed initially that led you to saying, I think we need to see somebody to see if he might need a diagnosis, and what were his symptoms?
Well, we had him evaluated when he was 5, and he's now 10. At 3 years old, I had like family and just other people say, yes, there's something wrong with him. You should have him checked out. And it's like, no parent wants to hear that. And I didn't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, he's all right. He's fine, because he never had the dreaded V word or anything like that. We didn't let any of that happen. So I thought, this can't be happening because we didn't do that. And about 3, it was all so very gradual because, we used to go, okay, what does a cow say? What does a, pig say? And he would go through all of that with me and everything. And then just gradually it stopped. And it was so gradual that I didn't even notice it at first. And then all of a sudden I'm like, he used to do all that. How come he's not
Mhm.
doing that anymore? And then he just kind of like, it just got more and more, and people were noticing, but we were all like, no, no, it's okay. It's okay. And other people would be like, oh, my kid didn't talk to, they're fine. Your kid's fine.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong. And we would ask the doctor and they'd be like, no, I think he's all right. I think he's okay. But by 5, he's like, well, we could probably have him tested. So we did. And they said, yes, they said he definitely has a global development delay. And he goes, he probably has autism. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to put it on there so that you can get help better. I'm like, okay, well, we can handle that.
Right.
And he just said to do OT, do speech therapy and all that. He goes, but watch it because there's a lot of people out there who are going to try to get your money from you and it's not going to be worth it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
So,
how are you supposed to decipher when you're out there, right? Like, okay, well, now I'm
yeah,
navigating something I have no idea about. I'm supposed to use gosh. And yeah, that's
yeah,
an interesting thing to be led to. Like, okay, now what? That was what
yeah,
thinking
really.
to me, like, well, what do I do? Yeah. Go ahead.
Mhm. And yeah, we just went from there and we started the speech and the OT and we just kept trucking along and I just kept seeing things and I was just like, I don't know. And then my husband's like, I heard about the stem cells. So he showed me a video he found and the video was just like unbelievable because this kid who couldn't talk at all and all of a sudden he's talking and he's saying, I'm so glad my parents took me there because now I can speak. And he's like, would
Mhm.
that be good if we could do that? I'm like, yeah, but what are the chances that's really going to work for him? It was a big discussion because it's a big, cost.
Investment. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It is.
yeah. And, we're older parents, so
Mm.
it's more worrisome for us to wonder what's going to happen to him when we're gone.
Yes, that's a
And
parent's biggest fear. Hmm.
yeah, so he's like, I don't care if we don't have a lot of money, we don't have this and that. I want to know that we're going to do everything we can for him, you know, whatever that can be done, we can do it. And I won't care if we're broke. I'm like, okay. So we tried the stem cells. We saw just a little bit of improvement. He got excited and everything. And the second time, Jake's reaction to that was just a little bit worse. And then, I don't know, I was just on Facebook looking at things and someone had said, did you ever look at naturally recovering autism? And I thought, what's that? Because we like natural things, we
Hmm.
are more into that than anything. So I went on your Facebook and I looked at it and I thought, well, look at that. So I started just really looking at everything on there and I was talking to my husband about it. And he's like, we're already doing stem cells. I think that's enough for now. Yeah, but look at what he's writing on here. I mean, this is kind of like speaking to me here, just like the stem cells was for him. Because I was little like, this was speaking to me. So we just were going over it. And I do have to say, at first, I did back out of it. And then it came on where you offered that little mini program for $300, I think it was. And then I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, look at this now. We can do half of it for this money. Why don't we just try it? We've already spent so much. What's a little bit more? He's like, if you want to do it. So we did. And yeah, I mean, it just started working. That the zeolite, the first one, that one really showed a lot because he was really starting to have behaviors, coming up to this point, and it
Hmm.
was just like, what's going on? I
Well,
always
here's,
thought I would. Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
I,
ahead.
I always thought I was, kind of lucky compared to other people because I would be reading the Facebook groups and everyone would be like, oh, my kid's breaking TVs, my kid's doing this. And I'm thinking,
Mhm.
whew, we don't have that yet. So we're lucky, but it was coming because then all of a sudden the aggressive behavior started and he just was like acting out a lot. But it wasn't long after starting that zeolite that it really calmed him down. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
wow, look at that.
And so the contrast too, I think it's helpful if you're okay with sharing that you actually were you had taken out a second mortgage on your home to get the stem cell
Yeah.
injections. How much
Yeah.
how much were those?
We have, we did 32,000
Wow.
that we had the loan for,
And that's 2 sessions?
3 sessions.
Great. And you couldn't finish the third. You had mentioned prior when we talked earlier that you had
Right.
it was so traumatic for your son having being stuck with the needles and poked, and you really weren't seeing any results from it so much either. Is that right?
Right. Yes, they couldn't get his blood out the third time and they just kept trying and
Oh.
it made him worse. And I just kept staring at my husband, like, make them stop.
Mhm.
This is enough. And they even gave him laughing gas, but it had the opposite effect on him. And it really hypered him up.
No.
And it everything was just horrible for him. So it's like, this has got to be done. You got to stop this now, or
Yeah.
I'm going to start screaming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's traumatic for the kids, it's
Hmm.
traumatic for the parents, and the cost is, out of control, really. I mean, it's not
Oh,
accessible to people. And you're not the only one who, parent who has taken out a second mortgage on their home and, spent so much because you love your child so much, you're willing to do anything you can. But then I appreciate your trust when you found my program because I do know how hard it can be after you've been through so much, you've seen a lot, you've been reading a lot, and then you think, is this just one more thing, or is there some truth to this? I always hope that my own story, because I've lived it myself, is helpful when parents find my website or my program somehow, Facebook, social media, whatever it is. So then you have now we have a roadmap that you follow specifically the sequence. And so how is this cost comparatively and your own time taken to do things and the changes you're seeing in your son? How is it from before you were in the program to now after? What has
with
it
his
done?
behaviors and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the cost, the behaviors, how he's behaving, and how it is for yourself going now have a roadmap and versus trying to navigate the journey on your own.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because yeah, I was just kind of floundering before. I didn't know what to do. And with following everything, I mean, we have learned that we have got to go really, really slow with Jake. We can't, rush anything at all. And there have been plenty of times we had to take a week off and just, keep everything where it was, maintain it, and not up anything. Just let him, you know, get used to it. We've had to do that quite a few times. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great though that you knew now to do that because you have to
Mhm.
have really the knowledge, the education of, okay, we don't want to go too fast or we're going to end up in a die-off reaction that could be extreme. We're seeing symptoms increase, so we want to slow down. And so you proceed, now you know how to proceed forward.
Right. Yes, definitely. The cost is something that, we can actually handle more
Mhm.
because like, yeah, with that, we didn't have that much money up front. So we had to take a loan out. With this, we do what we can and, we haven't had to take any loans out. We can
Mhm.
do it all ourselves. So it's just great.
Right. Yeah. And you can just
Mhm.
spread things out along the way because you only need
Yep.
one thing at a time. So you do it at your
Yep.
child's pace anyway, which
Yeah.
takes time. So, and how is your son today? What differences have you noticed? And how much
He
time has it been since you've been in the program?
about 2 years now
Two
because we
years.
started that in October of 23.
Okay.
So
Great.
yeah. And yeah, he's actually talking to us more and he will answer simple questions. I mean, he's not great at communication, but it's coming and everything. And he still has, some behavior problems, but what kid doesn't? But it's getting a lot better, definitely. And I'm doing homeschool with him because they had told me that, oh, he's never going to learn. He just needs to go and learn life skills. And I thought, no, my kid's
Yeah.
smart. He is
Good for
smart.
you.
He can do this.
Hmm.
So I'm like, and I thought, if anyone's going to screw him up, might as well be me. So I only got myself to be mad at. So that's why I'm like, we're doing homeschool, and it's a journey because Jake, he is very smart. He can look at you and peg you. Are you going to
Yeah.
overestimate me or underestimate me? Because he can
Hmm.
tell by looking. And if you're going to underestimate him, that's exactly what you're going to get. He
Yep.
won't, he will make you work and he'll act like he don't know nothing. He's very smart that way.
Don't underestimate our kids. They are brilliant. They're like,
Yeah.
my son's the smartest one in the family. Like they're so smart. And they have that intuitive, I always call it the BS detector. They
Yeah.
know if somebody's telling them the truth, believes in them, all of that. So, and
Yep.
and it takes our own faith to continue to just stay positive in the face of so many naysayers out there. Like I was told my son couldn't get better and improve. Today his symptoms are gone. You heard that, oh, he's just going to be that way, and or
Mhm.
people being told their child isn't intelligent when they're brilliant because they can't maybe carry out a task at the moment because their brain is so inflamed. My son used to say, "Mom, I want to, but I can't. Why can't I?" And it was heartbreaking for me as a mom to hear him say that. And
Mhm.
I watched these therapies just hurt his self-esteem. So when I finally pulled him out and took time, did the work that I needed to do for the underlying, inflammation, causes of inflammation, the underlying, reasons things were going on, then his brilliance came forward, and he's now who he's meant to be. He's a
Mhm.
writer. I mean, could never have really done that before.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, share more about what you've seen for your son. How is he different? What does he get to do now that he didn't before?
He well, it's just like when you're talking, you don't really think he's going to get involved. Like he has his favorite shows. Right now he loves The Good Dinosaur, that movie. So he'll actually, go through it in his mind, well, not in his mind, but he'll speak it out loud, the movie and everything. And the other day he was going, "Mama, Mama." Like that's the part of the movie. And then Jay, my husband, was like, "Well, Mama's in the house." And Jake turns and looks at him and goes, "I know." He would have never done that before.
Wow. Yeah, they start coming alive. They come out.
Yeah.
It's like they've been in a kind of a shell, and now all of a sudden they're having conversations with us, and it's
Yep.
a very strange phenomenon, isn't it? When they don't really connect with you, and then all of a sudden they're connecting with you, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I've been waiting for this. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And he's just going out and exploring everything. And
Mm.
he's into everything. And it's like, oh, this was probably easier when he would have been 3 because now he's almost 130 pounds and he's a big boy. So it's like, whoa.
Well, that can be a little scary for some parents too. And the kids get bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger. And if they are still
Yeah.
having violent outbursts, it can be really
Oh,
scary. So, especially around puberty, we'll really see that when that surge of, the surge of hormones comes in. And so,
mhm.
it's nice to be able to get a handle on it as soon as you can, for sure, so that things can stay calm as they get bigger. And anybody listening, it's never too late. Working with parents with kids in their 20s and 30s, it is never, ever too late. So don't give up. But we can still work with anyone and help them live a better life. So, how is your life different today, Debbie, because of having a roadmap to follow in the program, having your son be so much happier and healthy? What has it enabled you to do, and maybe you and your husband, how have your own relationship? How has it changed things?
Well, we can actually feel like he's a kid, almost normal. We can go out and do things, like he wants to see the animals at the zoo and he wants to interact with people in the stores now. He'll say hi to everybody or he'll pat him
Mhm.
on the back, hi, if he's close enough. And it's just like, he just wants to just interact, and it's great. And the trick or treating, oh my gosh, he loves that. So
Be
we
careful with
can't
that
even
candy,
mention
though.
it.
Be
Oh
careful with
yeah,
the sugar,
yeah.
or you're gonna, yeah,
We
you'll see some
we have
symptoms
to
coming.
go. go through it all, of course, and everything,
Mm.
but he just loves to go and do it. He can't even
Oh,
mention it that day because he expects to go right then and there in the morning. So we have to
oh,
wait until it was last year. We had to wait until it was time to go. Then he was like, oh, he was ready to go.
oh. Well, that's
And
sweet. What's he going to be for Halloween this year?
a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you would like to share? I would like to ask you too. Do you feel for parents, because there is a lot of trust factor, they've spent a lot of money, do you feel that the Naturally Recovering Autism membership has been worth your time, is worth, the investment, which I feel is affordable, and hopefully you've mentioned you do as well, to keep it, attainable for anybody. So, is it something that you feel that you would tell other people about and recommend to other parents who
Oh
are on
yeah.
the journey?
Oh yeah, I've been telling people about it, but
Oh,
I
thank
don't know
you.
if they've really done anything because, a lot of people seems like they just go with what the doctor says, give them this medication, do this. A lot of people aren't awake enough yet to
Mhm.
realize that this is what you need to do, or they'll try to shame you into like you're not trying to change your kid and you don't do that. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah. I get that on social media. There's nothing wrong with, okay, are these screaming tantrums and this sort, they're like they're unhealthy, they're unhappy. It's
mm,
like to help them just
help them.
live a better
Yes.
quality of life. We're just helping them be more of who they are. That's what I
Right.
say, let them be their true selves without all this other chaos in their way.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to share before we wrap up? I appreciate you being here and sharing your journey with us, and giving others hope that there are answers here available. And yeah, do you have anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Take the chance, everybody, because this is really worth it. This, you will see results. I mean, if you're worried about the money, just do it. This is better than anything the doctor can give you. You will actually see your child shine through and watch them grow and see them learn. It is a wonderful thing when you finally get your child to say, I love you.
Yeah, absolutely. And patience, because it takes time. People are looking for
Yeah,
an overnight quick fix, and that's not what
right.
anything is. It's about, really being able to have, that's what I feel like I hope that I share is the right program. That's what to save the time and money and expense that I spent to be able to give you a clear path on how to move forward and stop jumping around from practitioner to practitioner or therapist or different supplements, trying this and that, and have, an actual clear roadmap to follow. So, thank you so much for sharing with us, Debbie. I really appreciate it. I am so, so happy that your son has been doing so well, and I look forward to the continued results and sharing more with us in the future.
Oh, yes, definitely. Me too. I can't wait to see where he goes.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch them as they become adults. Like my son, actually, what their interests are, what they want to do
Hmm.
in life, and how they take that and run with it when they can, when they have that opportunity. So, yeah, it is exciting because they are very, very brilliant, and they really have so much to share with the world. They have gifts, and they
Hmm.
need to be able to share them, and that's what we want to help them do. So, again, thanks for
Yeah.
being here, Debbie. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.